Hello, everybody. We're of course gonna wait a few minutes to give people a chance to come in. I hope everybody's having a good week thus far. Let's see. They're dashing, they're daring, courageous and caring, faithful and friendly with stories to share. All through the forest they sing out in chorus, marching along as their song fills the air. Gummy bears, bouncing here and there and everywhere. Find adventure that beyond compare. They are the gummy bears. They are the gummy bears. Life is like a hurricane here in Duckburg. Race cars, lasers, aeroplanes. It's a duck blur. Might solve a mystery or rewrite history. DuckTales. Woo. Hello. I see there is a second person here. Hopefully all is well with you. Let's see if you can help out by liking and sharing the stream. That'd be appreciated. Um, and we gather to DuckTales. Woo. You are there and I've been waiting. DuckTales. Woo. Look to danger out to find you. When you grab onto some ducktails, woo. When you know that I've been making ducktails, woo. You've been living, I've been waiting, ducktails. But strangers out to find you. When you grab onto ducktails, woo. When you know that I've been making ducktails, woo. Sometimes some crimes go slipping through the cracks, but these two gumshoes are picking up the slack. There's no case too big, no case too small. When you need help, just call Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers. Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers. We know you know. Red, white, and blue. Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers. Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers. Red and white and blue. Oh, tailspin. Oh, tailspin. Friends for life through thick and thin with another tailspin. 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 Friends for life through thick and thin with another tailspin. Oh, 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 oh. Tailspin. Tailspin. Friends for life through thick and thin with another tailspin. Let's see. What else can we? Oh, yeah. Like father, like son. You're always number one. Hey, there's buddies, they're pals. Always seem to work things out. Can't you see they're two of a kind? Looking for a real good time? Port to the Goof Troop, and we'll always stick together. Yeah, we're the Goof Troop, best of friends forever. Yeah, we're the Goof Troop, and we'll always stick together. Yeah, we're the Goof Troop, best of friends forever. Now we're calling everyone. Come along and join the fun. Port to the Goof Troop. Ba-ba-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba. Hello. I see there is another person watching. We're just waiting on some more people to show up before we get started. I'll probably be going over what we'll. Oh, we got three people now. Okay, goody, three people. Yay. Okay, so well, with three people, then I guess it went 5 minutes now. I'll go ahead and kind of talk about what we're going to be talking about. Oh, we went back down to two people. Boo. Anyways, okay, so here's what's on tap for tonight. I guess I'll just go ahead. We're gonna have. Let's see. We're gonna go over probably something like 9 articles, I guess, altogether, plus some wrestling roundup stuff. 3 anime related and 6 Hey, Mighty Geeks, on the road to glory ain't. Oh, let's see what you have to say here. On the road to glory ain't no turning back. Got to be the mighty ducks on the quack attack. And look out, clear the way. Ducks are here to say, Ducks rock. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, so Mighty Geek, as I'm pointing out here, so I'm basically gonna try to do nine stories plus a couple plus some wrestling roundups here, of course, as part of the 3 anime related. We're gonna actually start with anime tonight, and then go into comics. I got 3 anime related articles, one from Critical Blast, and the other 2 from Bounding into Comics, and then the 6 comics articles all from CBR. So among that stuff includes the rise of anime and manga. Also with that. Also with that, we got some news in regards to Goblin Slayer. Goblin Slayer trailer coming out. Some news on Ruby. On the comic side of it, DC's got some releases coming out. Marvel's re-releasing some stuff. Iconic Marvel Man, Miracle Man artist Gary Leach passed away. We'll be talking a little bit about that. As well as collaboration between Skybound Comet and Image Comics. As always, guys, if you can help me out, with of course a like and a share, see if we can get some more friendly people in here. That'd be appreciated. But anyways, with that, why don't we go ahead and get started then with the only Disney could make hockey interesting for a little kid. Yeah, that's. I guess you got a point there. When you're talking about the Mighty Ducks, the animated shit, the movie, then the animated series and all that, and then of course actually bringing in an expansion team back. I think it was what 93 for the 93-94 hockey season, I believe. So Mighty Ducks of Anaheim Mighty Ducks, however you want to say it. Anyways, with that being said, why don't we go ahead and get into the articles here? I'll get going right away here. And here's our first one that we're going to be talking about. I know there's not, I know Yellow Flash has also talked a lot about this as well in his videos. But here's an article about it from Bill Casticart. That was actually published last Thursday, 15/13, so that would be 3/13 in the afternoon here. The rise of anime and manga. From the Critical Blast site here. Article submitted by Bill Casticart on Thursday at 15:30 or 3:13 in the afternoon. So, let's go ahead and get started on this then. Let's see. Alrighty then. Over recent times, Japanese anime and manga have become more mainstream than ever before. And this increase in popularity is not seeing a slowdown. Instead, it is continuing to rise in viewer numbers, and the huge social and online media phenomena are simply set to continue to grow. It is serving to broaden our understanding of Japanese culture, but also provides a forum and platforms to meet similar minded people. Global anime and manga conventions such as Anime Expo, OtakuCon, and JCon are now held around the world. It is a phenomenon that we should all understand. That we should all understand, and this article will serve to do just this. I think that's a typo. I think it's supposed to say "and this article," not "end this article." Either that, or he's trying to say by the end of this article, you will understand it. So, hmm. So anyways, let's see. One person dropped off there. So what is manga and anime? Anime is generally the term used to refer to Japanese animated films and shows, and manga is the Japanese comics and graphic novels. They've always been big in Japan, but in recent times, these genres and even the terms have become part of popular global culture. Well, yeah, anime has been slowly growing since basically the late 90s. I mean, of course, back in the 90s, you had Sailor Moon, you had Yu Yu Hakusho, you had the Vision Escalafone, you had Slayers, all the, and even Pokemon, all those are getting the ball rolling. Neon Genesis Evangelion, all those were getting the ball rolling back in the 90s, and then it just continued to roll throughout the 2000s to the 2010s up to now. Why this hype? More emotion. For many, the anime genre has a great deal more emotive, and touchy feeling moments rather than only gratuitous violence, which is true because when you look at the different genre of anime, yes, you do have your action adventure genre, which is subdivided into several subgenres like martial arts, historical dramas, RPGs, isekai, you know, all that. But aside from that, you one of the other brand, where what they're talking about with more emotion here, you have such things as harem anime. You have a lot more slice of life animes that do bring about greater emotion because you get to see more relational stuff, and like some of the slice of life animes, and even like the harem animes, which often get criticism for a lot of the fan service involved, but also because of how the characters are interacting in those harem animes, and that also bring out a lot more emotion, because you're develop in those like harems and harem animes like Love Hina, like All My Buddha, All My Goddess. Um, let's see, what are some other ones? You could even argue Divergent Eve, um, Magicano, Mabarajo, um, even Negima, you could argue, has some harem or reverse harems like the Wallflower or Oron High School Host Club. You know, how the characters all interact with each other and relate to each other, and how the relationships build in those series really does make the stories more compelling. Hey, Lorenzo, and toys. And if you guys can help too by liking and sharing the stream, so we can get some more friendly people in here, that'd be great. Um, let's see what you guys have. Yeah. Okay. Yo yo. Let's see. Anime is one-to-one adaptation of manga. Yep, that's true. Let's see. It's easier to do an animated series than a live action adapt, which is again true. Yep. And we've seen how live actions have been going lately for him. Hey, Mike, Terry, and action. Hey, Lorenzo. Thank you for dropping in. Yeah, okay. Thank you for helping toys out there. Manga has something for everyone. Chuck Dixon agrees with this fact. Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, and I know a lot of commentators like myself, Flash. We all agree with this because, as I was saying earlier, earlier there, you have all the different genres and then subgenres in anime, and I think that's what they're getting to. Anyways, guys, if you haven't already, if you guys can, of course, like and share the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people in here, that'd be appreciated. Anyways, back to the article here. Let's see. Yes, there are incredibly graphic and fast paced manga and anime, but on the whole, it is a sector that provides and runs on emotion and a softer, more honorable type of hero heroine who is emotionally intelligent. This might seem from the fact that the first manga creators, began their work after their towns had been flattened by U.S. bombers. Emotion was raw then, and it has simply struck. And what I think that he's saying here is anime probably started cropping up probably just after World War II, or at least the mangas did. Some of the manga series were starting to crop up just after World War II, and then anime started really becoming a thing in the '60s for in Japan. Let's see, the uncensored nature. There are many anime series that would remind one of a Tarantino movie, which and granted, I haven't really ever watched any Tarantino movies, but from what I understand, I think that is an accurate statement from what I understand. And the blood and gore may seem extreme to newcomers to the genre. However, it is simply because there is a level of uncensored reality that the producers and makers of both manga and anime seek to include in their work, which is true. They don't get all caught up with whether or not they're offending people. They're just focusing in on their work. Um, anyways. Let's see, where was I? Yeah, there we go. The range of superstitions, beliefs, and an ability for the heroes to cry and cry regularly, as well as being a bit miserable, have all made for a genre that society relates to and enjoys. In fact, you have all these different terms for different types of characters, like Sundare, um, Yandere, that depict all these different terms that people kind of key in on the spread of the culture. Let's see. Hey Lorenzo, hey Studios. All right. Terry's okay. Hello, Lorenzo and Toys. Back in the 80s, we called anime Japanimation. Yeah, and there were some pretty good anime adaptations at the time. Some of the '80s stuff, even though there have been a lot of critics saying how they were not, because like some of the stuff that came over to America in the late '70s and '80s like Gatchaman, like you know Beast, Beast Go Lion, Dairuger 15, and of course what I'm referring to here, of course, is what came over as Battle of the Planets and well, hey Rick, welcome to the stream, man. Um, you know, and then of course Beast Go Lion and Dairuga 15 became known as Voltron, and then you had of course Macross, which became Robotech. So, um, so we, you know, now granted, the editing at back then, because they were trying to make it into kids shows when they were not necessarily, when these anime and manga were not necessarily designed for kids. You know, that's kind of the thing that tripped some people up on it back then. But anyways, the spread of the culture, the spread of manga and anime has been throughout the media and entertainment world. The variety of material produced has seen its inclusion in full-length movies, games and online casinos, and television series. It's still generally subtitled, and the global village has been keen to access and consume such culturally diverse yet emotionally similar material. The original manga that transformed on our screens into Western cartoons such as Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, followed by the more adult Akira and Cowboy Bebop. Now, he misspelled Bebop. Right, first off, as we all know, Bebop is spelled one as one word there, and I think as one word, there's only one E instead of two. But anyways, series that was remade recently, all of which have served to grasp imagination of the global disillusioned youth. Mm-hmm. Anyways, oops, that's not what I was trying for, but oh wait. All right. So, anyway, so as we continue on here, the rise of anime and manga have taken the world by storm, and it is a rise that is expected to continue for the long term. Mainstream global youth culture has become intertwined with these Japanese forms of artistic expression, providing something new and exciting for global audiences. Now, as an anime fan myself, I love the animation. I love the settings, and I love how they tell the stories. And obviously, I like harem animes myself. For watching the and a lot of those harem animes too have a lot of interesting comedic elements too. It's it can be pretty fun to watch. So, um, that's what we got going on there. So let's see. So now with that, let's get ready to move on to the next article. I'm gonna actually be going over the bounding in the comics now. I'm here. Just finish this article up here. Like I said, we got a couple articles we're gonna read here on got some Goblin Slayer and Ruby news. So first I will do this article here. All right, Goblin Slayer Season 2 gets bloody new key visual. Article by Spencer McCulley, published earlier today. The upcoming second season of White Fox's animated adaptation of author Kumo Kagyu and artist Noboru Kanatsuki, Kanatsuki, Goblin Slayer novels, light novel series, has has officially received its second key visual. Revealed by the Goblin Slayer anime's official Twitter account on March 29th, alongside the promise, quote, the second season of the TV anime series is currently in production, unquote. The new key visual features the series' eponymous hero, eyes ablaze with fury behind the gates of his helmet, against a splatter of blood inlaid in images of his titular foes, goblins. Oh, there's your Twitter right there. This new piece of promotional artwork follows the second season's previously released first key visual unveiled on January 31st to commemorate the announcement of the anime's return, wherein the series' main party members, Goblin Slayer, Priestess, High Elf Archer, Dwarf Shaman, and Lizard Priest. Wow, some interesting titles there of people, huh? Some interesting names there. Okay, I guess a lizard priest is a priest of lizards, a dwarf shaman, high elf archer, goblin slayer, priest and priestess. Uh, can be seen united under the world's dual moons. I guess here they all are right here. Alongside this key visual, G.A. Bunko, the light novel's original Japanese publisher, also released a recap of the above party members presented in the form of a short trailer. And that's on YouTube. If you want to go see that. Beginning publication in February 2016, with a manga adaptation helmed, I guess he should have put in helmed by Kosuke Kurose. Following just 2 months later in the pages of Square Enix's monthly big Gangan magazine, Kagyu and Kanatsuki's fantasy adventure series follows the exploits of a man known only by the titular moniker of Goblin Slayer as he seeks revenge against the race of monsters that massacred his village. Common theme in a lot of these type of series, huh? And of course, feel free to comment on anything if you guys see anything here that grabs your attention. Quote, I'm not saving the world, I just kill goblins, unquote, reads an official synopsis for the series provided by Crunchyroll, where the series' first season can currently be viewed. It adds, quote, rumor has it that in a certain guild in the middle of nowhere, there is an extraordinary man, um, who has climbed all the way to the silver rank just by killing goblins. At the same guild, a priestess who's just become a new adventurer has formed her first party, and the man who ends up rescuing that party when they get into trouble is none other than the Goblin Slayer. Unquote. Wow. Rookie party, and then they need this big guy to come in and save them. As of writing, a release date for Goblin Slayer's second season has not yet been announced. What do you make of this new key visual? Let us know your thoughts on social media or in the comments down below. Seems pretty cool. It's pretty interesting. Now we'll get going on to the next. Yeah, Robotech and Voltron. Hey, Cross. All right. So, anyways, as we get ready to move on to the next article here. All right. So here's the last anime article of the night that we're gonna go through here. Let me see. We're already at the 30-minute mark, so kind of breezing through these pretty quickly. All right. Ruby to receive anime series from All Star Production Team. Rooster Teeth, quote, collaborating with the Japan team every step of the way, unquote. Article by Spencer McCooley, published earlier today. Coming full circle after creator, the late Monty Ohm, sought to capture, quote, the essence of the flat, line drawn look of traditional anime, unquote, in its aesthetics and direction. Rooster Teeth has announced that their Ruby will officially be receiving a Kanan anime series from an All Star production team. Officially revealed on March 25th, which is last Friday, after a premature announcement by Crunchyroll the day before. Ruby Ice Queendom, a quote Kanan adjacent unquote story featuring quote new characters, new settings, new surprises, and in parentheses, of course, new Grim unquote. Conceptualized by Gen Orobuchi from Puella Magi Madoka Magica, Kamen Rider, Gaim, Ruby Ice Queendom will be animated by Shaft, who animated Puella Madoka Magica, directed by Kenjiro Okada. March comes in like a lion. Features scripts by To Ubukata from Ghost in the Shell Arise. The series will feature characters designs conceptualized by illustrator Hook from Black Rock Shooter and finalized for animation by Nobuhiro Sugiyama from Arakawa Under the Bridge, as well as visual direction from Nobuyuki Takuchi, Digimon Adventure Bokora no War Game, who, alongside Yoshiaki Ito, Tenchi the Movie, Tenchi Muyo in Love, and Hiroki Yamamura from Kizu Monogatari Trilogy, will also serve as the project's chief animation directors. Nobuko Todo and Kazumi Jinochi, Netflix's Ultraman, round out the production crew as the series composers. Here's some scenes right there from Ruby Ice Queendom. Ruby Ice Queendom will also see a number of Ruby Core Series English Japanese voice actors return to reprise their roles, including Lindsay Jones and Saori Hayami as Ruby Rose, Barbara Dunkelman and Ami Koshimizu as Yang Zhao Long, Aaron Zek and Yu Shimamura as Blake Belladonna, Kara Eberly and Yoko Hikasa as Vice Schnee, Hiro Shimono as Janue Ark, Soma Saito as Lie Ren, Kazuhiko Inoue as Professor Ozpin, Aya Suzaki as Nora Valkyrie, and Megumi Toyoguchi as Perha Nikos. Mangaka Kumiko Shuekane, Versailles of the Dead, will also adapt Ruby Ice Queendom into manga form for Kadokawa's monthly comic Dengeki Daio magazine. Elaborating on the series production in a post published to the company's blog on March 28th, head of licensing and consumer products at Rooster Teeth, Jeff Yetter, told fans, quote, "This moment has been a long time coming. Believe it or not, this new show has been in the works for almost a decade," unquote. Hope you guys are enjoying the content thus far. I haven't seen anybody comment in a while, so just kind of curious there. Quote, "The story goes that about 8 years ago, Monty was at a convention and stopped by the Good Smile Company booth," unquote. He recalled, quote, "He loved their products and wanted to explore a partnership with them. While they were talking, they started kicking around the idea of creating a new Ruby side series, but rather than creating it in Austin with uh, I guess C Ruby or Kruby. Um, this new story would be traditionally animated in Japan by a world class studio. He continued, flash forward a few years, and here we are, bringing this incredible new vision to life with some of the biggest names in anime. Bandai Namco Arts, Good Smile Company, Shaft, and Crunchyroll, with additional support from Warner Brothers Japan and Clab Incorporated, Clab Inc. Not only that, but we've assembled a dream team of anime heavyweights for the core creative team, unquote. Quote, and of course, unquote, added Yetter, quote, Rooster Teeth's own Carrie Shawcross, Eddie Rivas, Aaron Wynn, and Christine Brent have been collaborating with the Japan team every step of the way, unquote. Noting that both fans likely had, quote, a ton of questions, unquote, regarding the series, though being wary of the fact that many of them he was, quote, not allowed to answer just yet, unquote, probably because he couldn't spoil anything, the NDAs and all that. Yetter then moved to answer two of the Ruby fandom main inquiries. quote, first, the world of Ruby, Ice Queendom, is not an alternate universe or a reboot, unquote, he wrote. Quote, while the story is set in the same universe as the main show, we're calling it canon adjacent, unquote. My guess is what that basically means. It's happening in the same universe. The story is actually happening at the same time as the main storyline. That's probably what they're meaning there. The story is happening concurrently with the main Ruby storyline. That's probably what they mean when they say canon adjacent. Quote, the new show is incredibly faithful to the original while also taking some fun new liberties to switch things up a bit, unquote. Yetter explained. Quote, the first two episodes of Ruby Ice Queendom will recap volumes 1 to volume 2 before kicking things off into a bold new adventure full of new characters, new settings, new surprises, and, in parentheses, of course, new Grimm, unquote. He further teased, quote, not only that, but you'll also see a ton of familiar faces too. While changes made to the existing Ruby content are not technically considered canon, it's a story that absolutely could exist alongside other Ruby content. We just wanted the Japan team to be able to have as much fun with it as they wanted. Now, as to what the story of the show is all about, well, you'll just have to wait and see. Unquote. Turning to the next burning question on Ruby fans' minds, Yetta wrote, quote, second, I've seen a lot of questions about when and where the show is airing. The show will release this summer. We'll be sharing the exact release date in the near future, unquote. Quote, it will premiere on Japanese television with subtitled and dubbed versions available the same day to audiences on Crunchyroll and Rooster Teeth first, unquote, he confirmed. Quote, new episode will premiere weekly. It's also worth noting that episodes will follow traditional anime runtimes. Basically meaning that it's going to be, without commercial, it's going to be like 24 minutes, I'm guessing, how they're building it. Are you interested in Ruby Queen Ice Queendom? Let us know your thoughts on social media or in the comments down below. All right, so let's see. And no new comments late, but it looks like you guys are still watching, so that's good. Glad you guys are still here. Let's see now. So now let's move on to the comics. We're already at 43, 42. So actually we've been making some good time here then. That's good to see. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the comics portion of the story. And all the comic articles are from CBR tonight. Let's see. All right, looks like I'm still here. Oh, we have a sixth person. Hello, sixth person. Wow, that's the most number of viewers we've had in a while. Glad to see that. Anyway, so let's get to this now. And of course, if you haven't already, if you guys can like and share the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people here, that'd be appreciated. As I get ready to. Okay, so we got a few stories to go over here, and these, of course, will be. These usually tend to go a little quicker. That's why we can do more of these. And let's say. Alrighty then. So let's get to this now. All right. So DC launches 2022 round robin competition with no Batman titles. DC Round Robin 2022 features such titles as Hawkman and Hawkwoman, The Changeling, Suicide Squad Dark, and much, much more. Article by John Arvidin, published 12 hours ago. Here's the logo for the round robin. DC is hosting another round robin competition to determine its next series. Oh yeah, now I remember what this is. If you guys remember, they had this last year too. Beginning March 29th, which is today at 12:15 p.m. Eastern. That was 9:15 this morning. Fans can begin voting in round one, which pits various potential titles such as Hawkman and Hawkwoman, The Changeling, Suicide Squad Dark, Constantine and the Demon, Vacation from Hell, and more against one another. Round one lasts until April 3rd, which will be next Sunday, a week from this Sunday. And for, actually, no, that'll be this Sunday. I'm sorry, that'll be this Sunday, not next Sunday. This coming Sunday. And for round two, DC will unveil the creative team's pitches and cover art. Voting for that round lasts from April 5th, which will be the following Monday, well, be the following Tuesday rather, to the 10th. And votes for all rounds can be made through DC's Twitter and Instagram accounts, as well as DC Universe Infinite. Voting ends on May 17th, and the winner will debut in September as a digital first series on DC Universe Infinite before arriving in print on Comixology in October. Probably trying to look for ways to try to bring in more money. Maybe even since there are no Batman titles here, maybe they're trying to find some series to do without relying on Batman. The full list of titles is below. So this is looks like the bracket right here. You got Wildcat series, the questions, Constantine and the Demon. So yeah, they Black Canary, Green Lantern. Hawkman and Hawkwoman, the Changeling. Logline: Hawkman and Hawkwoman have never had children together. They know that for a fact. Then who is Hector Hall? A hot-headed, razor-winged team who claims to be their son. Can they trust their own memories or each other? Now, in another universe, of course, Hawkman and Hawkgirl did have a son named Hector. So. Wildcat 9 Lives versus Wildcat 9 Lives. Logline: Wildcat spent 8 of his 9 lives showing the ropes to some of the DC Universe's heaviest hitters, and he's got the scarred knuckles and reset bones to prove it. But now he's only got one more life to go. How fearless would you be if you knew it was your last round in the ring? Let's see. The question's grand solution. Logline: what happens when people from all walks of life are activated as faceless vigilantes, each forced to solve an alternate reality game where the stakes are life and death? That's the question. But does Renee Montoya have the solution? Versus Constantine and the Demon, Vacation from Hell. Logline: Arcane Guile meets Hellish Fury. John Constantine is forced to play host to Etrigan the Demon, and the pair embark on a deeply personal and potentially apocalyptic mission. Journeying back home to Liverpool, Constantine must confront ghosts from his past, and Etrigan isn't exactly his first choice for an ally. Yeah, usually Etrigan is not a first choice for anybody's ally. He can be quite a handful at times. Suicide Squad Dark. Logline. A team of occult misfits and monsters assembled by Amanda Waller and led by Vampire Batman are forced into a mind-melting mission, a suicide mission, to assassinate Earth 13's League of Shadows. Versus Justice League Redacted. Okay, I wonder what that means. Logline Green Arrow has watched many heroes, the great, the good, the kind, be forever scarred by the darkness they swear to fight. Rather than sit by and let any more of his friends fall to the festering abyss, he decides to create a Justice League Black Ops team of fighters who can survive a few more shadows because, as far as he's concerned, they may already be lost. Green Arrow's team of Nemesis, Killer Frost, Manhunter, Metamorpho, and Cheshire are needed more than ever. Green Arrow was worried about what happens when you look look the abyss in the eye. That goes double when Johnny Sorrow and Merlin team up. Now that spelling of Merlin, I think that's one of Green Arrow's enemies. Um, he's an archer in his own right. Firestorm, Fourth World Problems. Logline, when Ronnie Raymond and Jason Rush make the startling discovery that the Firestorm Matrix contains a spark of the life equation, Darkseid and his army turn their sights toward the teenage nuclear heroes. But can Ronnie and Jason put their differences aside and combine into Firestorm, or will Darkseid claim the Matrix for himself in Apocalypse? Versus Kid Flash, The Speed of Fear. Logline, Reverse Flash melds with Parallax in an unprecedented combination of the Speed Force and the fear-based yellow power ring to create a deadly speed ring to shatter Oa's central Green Lantern battery. A confused and isolated Kid Flash, Wallace West, must chase Thawne across a variety of alien worlds to stop him and the Sinestro Corps, while his own powers die because Kid Flash's slow disconnection with the Speed Force. Black Canary, When Canaries Cry. Black Canary, When Canaries Cry. Logline, when Black Canary intercepts an intelligence operative trying to deliver sensitive material on an encrypted disk, she finds herself plunged into the world of espionage to contend with an international consortium known only as Mysterium. With the help of a French spy, Dinah must stop the Shadow Organization from instigating war for their own profit. Versus Green Lantern, The Light at the End of Forever. Wow, sounds like a Star Trek title. The Light at the End of Forever. I think the original Star Trek had a very similar title, The City on the Edge of Forever. Anyways, Logline. A dark far future, a galaxy gripped by tyranny, when an elderly farmer in a backwater system is brutalized by the latest thugs with jetpacks and jackboots to call themselves lawmen. He remembers a forgotten past, an era of champions, a cadre of noble peacekeepers long since vanished. His name, he's sure of it, is John Stewart. Whatever happened to the Green Lantern Corps? And is it too late to reignite the light? Right. I'm going to just go off camera for a quick second while I make some lighting adjustments here. I'll be right back. Actually, before I go, in fact, I should do what RJ had suggested before, which is all right. Well, anyways, back to the articles here. I guess I can keep it like that for a few minutes more. I guess. Anyways, getting back to the article here. DC Horror presents Ghost Tour from Hell. Logline: a frantic mother begs for Madame Xanadu's help in finding her missing son. Last seen on a ghost tour with friends. Xanadu's reading reveals there's a nefarious being behind the disappearances in New Orleans. Enlisting the help of the demon Etrigan and Deadman, the trio quickly realize that they're on a ghost tour from hell, and they're no match for these supernatural kidnappers. Versus Animal Man the Metamorphosis. Logline: Buddy Baker, aka Animal Man, has serious problems. Um, his home life is in shambles. His daughter's powers are awakening, and the world needs him, but he's stuck. He needs change. Soon, Animal Man will enter a cocoon, but when the metamorphosis is complete, what will emerge? See now. Hmm. Anyway, okay. All right, yeah, actually, I wanted to see. We're already at 58, so coming up on 59 minutes here. All right, Green Lantern: The Birth of Conspiracy. Logline: In 1947, three events kindled America's fascination with UFOs: the Men in Black, flying saucer sightings, and the Roswell crash. Three low-level government employees tasked with monitoring superheroes realized that one person was at all the events: the Green Lantern, Alan Scott. He hasn't been seen since. Versus Captain Carrot and his best friend Darkseid. Now, for those of you who might not know, Captain Carrot was a character from Earth C, um, which was kind of an anthropomorphic world where superheroes were more in like characters, and C minus actually had the Earth C minus had the anthropomorphic um, alternates to the main universe's heroes and villains. So. Logline: the interdimensional space epic no one asked for. Darkseid is trying to eliminate the newest new god, but the extremely furious, yes, we hate us too, Zoo Crew is determined to reach their long foretold Captain Carrot first before friendship ruins everything. Oh boy. Uh, let's see. Superboy, the man of tomorrow. Logline: determined to find his place in a strange universe, Connor Kent, Superboy, leaves Earth behind, but his journey of self-discovery brings him face to face with a group of freedom fighters who challenge not just everything Connor stands for, but what it means to bear the Superman crest. Versus Cyborg Cybergod. Logline: Cyborg has grown so powerful he no longer needs to leave his cold metal lair. He fights the good fight, but only virtually. With cyborg replicas, when the supervillain Gizmo and Clarion the Witch Boy mix magic and tech, they become powerful technomancers. Um, Cyborg is joined by Beast Boy, who tries to remind him of his true power, his human spirit. Cyborg must reconnect with his human side and face the world, or Gizmo will become an omnipotent, unchallenged cyber god, and Clarion will get what he's always wanted: chaos and destruction. Now, for those of you who might not have an idea who Gizmo is, if you ever watched the Teen Titans cartoon from back in the mid 2000s, or if you watch Teen Titans Go, Gizmo is that little nerdy guy who has got like the backpack on his back that has all his techno gear and all that. So that's who Gizmo is. And now it looks like it's getting down enough to where I can. Right, DC Round Robin, and that was that article. So 9:15 DC Round Robin 2022 kicks off March 29th, 9:15 a.m. Pacific, 12:15 Eastern. So that's that for that article. So before I do go on, now I think I can actually kind of step away from the camera. I think now is a good time to Anyways, as we get ready to move on to the um, get ready to move on to the next article, as it were. Yes, we'll just pass the hour mark here. All right, so here's our next article we're going to look at. Webtoon's 2022 Comic Creators Contest includes $50,000 top prize exclusive. Webtoon is looking for heroes, comic creators, and rising stars as they announce the 2022 Call to Action Comics, which kicks off in June. Article by Brandon Schur, published 12 hours ago. Right, so Webtoon is looking for heroes, comic creators, and rising stars for the upcoming 2022 Call to Action contest. CBR can exclusively reveal that Webtoon is launching the 2022 Call to Action contest this summer. The contest allows comic creators to submit original, action packed digital artwork for a chance to win prizes of up to $50,000. Winners also get a Webtoon Originals spot alongside some of the biggest names in action and shonen on Webtoon. That sounds like a pretty cool contest. Submissions for comics will be open from June 1st to July 31st, so the two of the summer months there, with Webtoon's panel of judges announcing the winners on September 30th. The top three winners will receive offers to become Webtoon Originals creators, as well as additional prizes $50,000, a Clip Studio Pain X license, and the right to have their story adapted into a short shonen style animation video for first, 30,000 and a Clip Studio Paint X license for second, and $20,000 and a Clip Studio Paint X license for third. Fourth and fourth and fifth will additionally receive cash prizes of $5,000 each and a Clip Studio Paint X license, with the top 10 honorable mentions will all receive Clip Studio Paint X license. Quote, for many comic fans, superpowers and battling evil are the foundational formula for an exciting story, unquote. Webtoon US Vice President of Content David S. Lee said, quote, Webtoon creators have brought incredible new energy, creativity, and diversity to Action Comics, giving fans a new generation of heroes to cheer for. Great ideas and content can come from anywhere. We can't wait to see what thrilling adventures Webtoon creators submit for the 2022 Call to Action contest. Unquote. Webtoon houses the world's largest digital comics platform that's home to some of the biggest artists, IP, and fandoms in comics. Quote, today, a new generation of action comic fans turn to Webtoon to find the biggest and best adventures in the genre, unquote. The publisher explained when making the 2022 Call to Action contest announcement. Webtoon has emerged as one of the most exciting sources of new action comics, with titles like Doombreaker, um, 18 million views, building a global fandom for its sword wielding, doom breaking hero, and smash hits like Unordinary, reaching more than 1 billion views on platform. Unquote. Other titles available on Webtoon include Tower of God, The God of High School, and more. The company has worked with DC Comics, Marvel Entertainment, Hybe, Netflix, and more of the world's biggest entertainment brands. The Webtoon app is free to download on Android and iOS devices. Full contest terms and entry conditions for the 2022 Call to Action contest are available on Webtoon. And there we go with that one. So that one went pretty quick. Getting ready to move on to and here's the next one we're going to be looking at here. All right. Alrighty then. Exclusive Everyday Hero Machine Boy trailer promises inspirational, heartwarming story. CBR has the exclusive premiere of a trailer for Everyday Hero Machine Boy, a new middle grade graphic novel from Skybound Comet and Image Comics. Article by Brandon Schroer, published 10 hours ago. Oh, look at the grandmother character there on the far right there. That looks kind of cool. I'm very sure that the grandmotherly character. Skybound Comet and Image Comics are inviting everyone to power up their heart with Everyday Hero Machine Boy, a new graphic novel releasing this September. CBR has the exclusive trailer premiere for Everyday Hero Machine Boy, which comes from Vyong, the upcoming Lego Ninjago Garmadon comic series, and Irma Nivila, Year of the Dog. The trailer, which you can watch below, shows the young robotic hero embarking on a number of different tasks, which include saving his high school, protecting his city from oncoming threats, and eating copious amounts of spaghetti. Oh, that sounds similar to Astro Boy in a way. Uh, it almost sounds like a Astro Boy ripoff. Everyday Hero Machine Boy marks the first original graphic novel aimed at middle graders from Skybound Comet, as it's specifically for young adult ages 12 and up and middle grade ages 8 to 12 readers. The plot synopsis reads, quote, "It's a bird, it's a plane, it's Machine Boy." Oh god. Okay. Yeah. Let's steal that phrase too. Let's go ahead and steal that phrase. Okay. When Machine Boy falls from the sky into the doomed city of Mega 416, he leaves a wake of destruction in his path until Karate Grandpa is able to turn on his heart. Oh boy, Karate Grandpa. Okay. Now, Machine Boy wants nothing more than to become a hero. Whatever he is fighting, whether he is fighting giant bugs in the school's basement, rescuing cats from trees, or making perfect spaghetti sauce, Machine Boy is always looking for the best way to help others. Yeah, this almost sounds like a slice of life version of Astro Boy. This this kind of sounds like a Astro Boy ripoff. Just applying maybe more slice of life elements into it than the original Astro Boy. But when his heart begins to interact dangerously with other debris from space, Machine Boy wonders if he can be a powerful good after all. Tri Vong and Irma Nivila create a funny and engaging all ages adventures that ask, can you override your own programming? Unquote. I don't know. Can you? How successful can an Astro Boy ripoff be? Should I be asking? I would think that if the Astro Boy creators got wind of this particular comic, they might have an issue with it. Quote, Machine Boy's eccentricity, eccentricity, and actually, no, maybe it's not. No, wait, probably more Mega Man than anything else. Maybe not Astro, but you got Astro Boy, you got Mega Man. So this might work. Now that I think about it. Quote, Machine Boy's eccentricity and charm, in brackets, are undeniable, unquote. Francis Manapul, who's worked on a number of DC titles like The Flash, Batgirl, Detective Comics, and more, said of the graphic novel, quote, their minimalist approach to storytelling elicits a vast array of emotions only accomplished by creators who are at the top of their game. Within a span of a single chapter, I laughed, choked back tears, and then cheered for this lovable android. This should be a perennial read for readers of all ages. Yeah, I mean, you got elements of Astro Boy and Mega Man in here. That's what it sounds like to me. This may be one of those things where they may want to be very careful that either one of those creators comes after them for, for copyright issues. Everyday Hero Machine Boy joins a number of other upcoming Skybound Comet launch titles. Clementine Book 1 from award-winning writer and artist Tilly Walden, spinning on a sunbeam, launches in June. It's followed by Sea Serpent's Her Book 1 from Marguerite Scott, Star Wars Resistance, Guardians of the Galaxy, and Pablo Tunica, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle universe. In October, previews for Everyday Hero Machine Boy, Clementine Book 1, and Sea Serpent's Air Book 1 will all be available in Clementine number 1, which releases May 7th for Free Comic Book Day. So these are all parts of a anthology title here, but again, I'd be if I were the writers for Everyday Hero Machine, I'd be a little worried here because they could have potential copyright issues there. Everyday Hero Machine Boy releases at comic book shops and on digital platforms including Amazon Kindle, Apple Books, Comixology, and Google Play on September 7th, and everywhere books are sold on September 13th from Image Comics and Skybound Comet. Visit Skybound Comet for pre-order information. I'm guessing Skybound Comic specializes in books directed towards like kids, I guess. That'd be what I would think. I guess. All right, so, anyways, we continue on here, going on to the next story here. This one. All right, so here's the next one. This is one that would seem to be a bit of a sadder note for comic book fans. Gary Leach, iconic Marvel Man, Miracle Man artist, has died at age 67. Gary Leach, the acclaimed British artist who launched the modern Marvel Man, Miracle Man, Alan Moore, has passed away at the age of 67. Article by Brian Cronin, published 7 hours ago. Gary Leach, the British comic book artist and art director who helped launch the modern version of Marvel Man, who was later renamed Miracle Man, has passed away at the age of 67. Leach first broke into the comic book industry doing work on IPC Magazine's iconic 2000 AD anthology, including early Dan Dare and Judge Dredd stories in 1978. Dan Dare, I think, was actually a character from even before 78. I think Dan Dare goes all the way back to maybe the 40s, I think, in 1979, as well as the VCs feature in 1979-80. He left IPC in 1981 to join Des Skin's new company, Quality Communications, where Leach was the company's art. Now, Quality Communications is not real. I don't believe is related to Quality Comics. Quality Comics went out of business years prior to that. But anyways, art director as well as being the artist on the revival of Marvel Man, the lead feature in Quality's main anthology, Warrior. The series, written by budding comic book superstar Alan Moore, was acclaimed right out of the gate. Leach reflected on the success of the strip in 2014. Quote, "We were just a bunch of guys who wanted more creator control than we could get at the big UK publishers. Their ideas were at least 10 years behind the times." 2000 AD was the rare exception, and we were already working on that. When the first strips came in, we knew we had something special, and the fan reaction was incredible. The real cruncher was the Eagle Awards, where we scooped a stash, and we also won Best Action Strip, Best Writer, and Best Adventure Artist from the SSI, Society of Strip Illustrators. As these were our industry peers, it was quite a big deal. Even that didn't really indicate the longevity Marvel Man would have, or that he would become an iconic character. It still surprises me now, unquote. Leach, though, found that he could not properly maintain the deadlines on the features, so he planned on Alan Davis filling in for him, with Leach inking Davis's earliest Marvel Man stories to help with the transition. But Leach decided to move on, and Davis became the feature's main artist. Leach then co-created the Warrior feature Warpsmith with Alan Moore. Alien characters, the Warpsmiths, later became prominent supporting character in Moore's Marvel Man. Leach maintained ownership of the characters, though, and Moore only used them in Marvel Man with permission from Leach. Sounds like they had a good, rapport with each other there. Let's see, anything new? No, we're back up to 3, though. That's good. In 1988, Leach formed Atomica Press with Dave Elliott and their lead anthology A1 opened with a new Warpsmith story by Leach and Moore. When the first iteration of Atomica folded, Leach got out of comic books for a while to work in advertising, but he returned in the late 1990s as John McCree's inker on Hitman with number 23. Leach remained on the series until it ended with issue number 60. Hitman number 34, the classic issue where Tommy Monahan gives Superman a pep talk, won Leach, Ennis, and McCree an Eisner Award for Best Single Issue, Single Story. During this period, Leach also inked a few other comics, including a year's worth of series, The Monarchy with McCree and writer Docell Young after Hitman ended. Parentheses there. And in 2002, he was the initial artist on Warren Ellis's Global Frequency series, parentheses, which had a different artist in each issue, unparenthesed. By virtue of drawing that first issue, Leach designed a number of major characters in the series. Leach then inked Chris Weston on the first half of Marvel's The 12 miniseries, or maxi series, with writer J. Michael Straczynski. Leach and Elliott have also revived Atomica Press a few times in the last couple of decades. Most recently, Leach had been working with CSI creator Anthony E. Zuiker and his wife, Michelle Zuiker, with their Zuiker Press company, which produces graphic novels based on personal experience of young people. All right, and then that's the end of that article. I don't know if anybody here knew who Gary Leach was. Well, coming up on an hour and a half here. We are making good time and good use of time here. Don't know if anybody here knows who Gary Leach is, but sure, maybe RJ might know. RJ, some of the other comic pros might. Anyways, moving on to the next article here. Marvel relaunches Shang-Chi series as Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings. Marvel promises to dive in, and this is kind of interesting how we had the article yesterday, and I know a few people have talked about it today. I know Toy Bounty Hunters talked about it too, how Simu Liu basically told everybody he wasn't going to sign copies of Hands of Master of Kung Fu, the series that Shang-Chi originally debuted in. Marvel promises to dive into the history of the Ten Rings as it relaunches its ongoing Shang-Chi series as Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings. Article by Brandon Schwer, published 7 hours ago. Marvel is unleashing the power of the Ten Rings into its universe as the ongoing Shang-Chi series is being relaunched as Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings, with the first issue releasing this summer. Marvel announced that the previously solicited Shang-Chi number 13 will now be Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings number 1, which promises a bold new chapter for the Shang-Chi series' future. The synopsis for Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings number 1, which comes from writer Jean Luong Yang and artist Marcus To, reads, quote, Shang-Chi has gained possession of the powerful Ten Rings, but so much concentrated energy has not gone unnoticed. Now, every bounty hunter, assassin, and evil syndicate Marvel Universe is coming to take the rings from him. But will the responsibility and the truth of the rings be too much to bear for the hero? The debut issue will see Shang-Chi in a striking showdown with Razor Fist, more trouble from the Five Weapon Society, and the first appearance of a new foe, Red Cannon. Here's the cover of this. Yang started working on the series with Shang-Chi #1 in 2020. It's been such a joy to work with, in quote here, it's been such a joy to work with Marcus Toe over the last couple months, unquote. He said of the Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings announcement, quote, he's a brilliant artist. His characters are vibrant and full of energy, and he's so good at fight choreography. We're all really excited about the new #1 and about bringing in 10 of the most powerful items ever, in brackets, introduced into the Marvel Universe, unquote. Toe added, quote, Gene and I are getting up to give the fans one hell of an action-packed book. Shang-Chi is the greatest hand-to-hand combatant in the Marvel Universe, and we're, in brackets, going to show it in this story. The Ten Rings were first introduced in 1964's Tale of Suspense #50 by Stan Lee and Don Heck. Each ring gives the wearer, typically the villainous Mandarin, who was also introduced in Tales of Suspense #50, a different superpower, such as mind control, lightning, and more. So these 10 rings are from the Mandarin, who is actually one of Iron Man's enemies. Interesting. Let's see. The Ten Rings were heavily featured in Marvel's Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings from 2021, although the film depicts the rings more as a single weapon controlled by the wielder. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings also depicts the Makluan pieces of technology as bracelets, most frequently worn by Tony Chu Wai Lung's character rather than actual rings. Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings #1, which features cover art by DK Ron, releases on July 20th from Marvel Comics. Shang-Chi #11 from Yang To and cover artist Lenil Francis Yu, released on April 20th. So there we go. Wonder if Simu Lu's gonna think this is racist. This comic's racist. Huh. Anyways, getting to the last article we're gonna read here. This is the last article we're gonna read, and then I'll do wrestling news roundup, and then probably start to wind down here. We're already at hour 35 here, so we made good time tonight. No technical issues tonight, so that's good. All right, incredibly rare Moon Knight first story original art is being sold. Rare art from Werewolf by Night #33 and a Moon Knight #1 variant cover by John Romita Jr. are being sold during a virtual YouTube event on March 30th. Article by Brandon Schwer, published 5 hours ago. Here we go. Incredibly rare Moon Knight artwork featured in 1975's Werewolf by Night #33 and an extraordinary original Moon Knight #1 variant cover drawn by John Romita Jr. are both being sold during a virtual YouTube event on March 30th, which will be tomorrow. Dynamite Entertainment announced that The Experience, a YouTube channel that offers comic programming from the industry's top publishers, retailers, dealers, creators, and fans, will see two unique pieces of Moon Knight artwork during their Comic Collectibles live show at 6 p.m. on March 30th. AR Comics will also join the upcoming show to discuss comics. So I guess here's the one of the pieces being sold is an original page from Werewolf by Night number 33, following his first appearance in the previous issue, Werewolf by Night number 33, from writer Doug Mensch, penciler Don Perlin, inker Howie Perlin, colorist George Roussos, and letterer Deborah James. Sees Mark Spector, also known as Moon Knight, try to capture the titular lycanthrope and bring it to an organization called the Committee. Moon Knight gets the unconscious creature onto his moon chopper, begins to fly away. However, the werewolf awakens and begins fighting the mercenary up until the sun rises and it turns back into his human alter ego, Jack Russell. According to Dynamite Entertainment, the artwork being sold from Werewolf by Night number 33 is from the issue's original story. It is being offered at $75,000. The Experience is also selling an original Moon Knight number 1 artwork from Romita Jr. for $9,500. Romita Jr. designed a variant cover for 2021's Moon Knight number 1, which, according to Dynamite Entertainment, is the only Moon Knight cover he's ever drawn. Moon Knight number 1 brings Spector back onto the street as he continues to bring violence to anyone who wishes harm on others traveling at night. The Moon Knight character will officially enter into the Marvel Cinematic Universe on March 30th when Disney Plus drops the premiere episode of Moon Knight. The show follows Stephen Grant, played by Oscar Isaac, a gift shop employee that suffers from dissociative identity disorder. That used to be DID used to be known as multiple personalities. So, resulting in several distinct personalities living within his psyche. These personalities include Mark Spector, a brash mercenary, the titular superhero, Moon Knight, and Mr. Knight, an immaculately dressed detective. Quote, he's brand new and he is going on a brand new adventure. We really think the fans are going to enjoy it, unquote, said producer Grant Curtis said of the show. Werewolf by Night is also coming to live action format as Gail Garcia Bernal and Laura Donnelly are set to star in an upcoming Halloween special adaptation of the series for Disney Plus. Michael Giacchino has been tapped to direct the special, while rumors have also circulated that it could feature the first full MCU appearance of Mahershala Ali's Eric Brooks Blade. There we go. So that's it for the articles tonight. So we're done with the articles. We do have some wrestling news to get you guys caught up on, as was reported earlier through WrestleMania and some of the stuff I watched there. apparently after Brock's last WWE contract expired, AEW, well, I guess AEW is inviting Brock to come to AEW. Wardlow in particular has said, "Hey, why don't you come to AEW and challenge me?" Wanting more competition, as it were. And AEW was actually interested in trying to sign Brock back after his last contract with the WWE had expired, but then Brock re-signed with the WWE. So that's one piece of interesting news. And the WWE is also I guess marketing a new controversial T-shirt that says Vince is an a-hole. And I think the shirt itself actually uses the full term, but of course we're gonna be PG here, as it were. So yeah, so those are a couple of interesting. Also of course, Raw's the go home Raw. Leading up to this weekend's WrestleMania also happened last night. Where a lot of the build was going towards the show, towards the WrestleMania show. Also in AEW news, aside from them being interested in Brock, tomorrow night's Dynamite is going to feature, from what I understand, a couple matches, including Darby Allin taking on Andrade El Idolo. Also, FTR, Cash Wheeler and Dax Harwood are going to be taking on Colton and Austin Gunn of the Gun Club. And there's going to be more news on, and apparently Adam Cole and the team known as Red Dragon of Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly seem to think that stealing belts makes them champions. And they're gonna be talking more about that on tomorrow night's Dynamite as well. So that's pretty much the wrestling roundup right there. We're at an hour 43, so unless anybody has anything they'd like to ask or talk about, I guess it'd be a good time to start winding down the show here. I'll give you guys a few seconds if you guys would like to comment on anything that we've talked about tonight or anything of the sort. Give you guys a few moments to do that. See if you guys want to say anything about what we've been talking about or add anything more to the conversation before we get going here. La dee dee da dee da, 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 la dee dee da dee da. La dee dee da dee da, la dee dee da dee da, la dee dee da dee da, la dee dee da dee da. All right. Well, we've hit an hour 45, so I guess with nothing more being said, I guess it's time to look back at this day in each history. Today being Tuesday, March 29th, 2022. Let's take a look back at this day in each history. History! And I do thank you guys for all the likes and shares tonight. Hopefully we had a good crowd in tonight. So with that, let's go ahead and take a look at this day in each history. And first off, we go back 40 years ago today. As on this date, 40 years ago today, at the 54th Academy Awards, Crack by Frederick Back wins the Academy Award for Best Animated Short Film. So on this date, 40 years ago today, Crack by Freddie Back won the Academy Award for Best Animated Short Film. So that's interesting. Moving on to the next piece of Leach history. We head to 2006, which was 16 years ago today. On this date, 16 years ago today, the 30th issue of Invincible from Image Comics went on sale on newsstands. It sold for $2.99. It was 32 pages. Story was written by Robert Kirkman, penciled by Ryan Otley, inked by Cliff Rathburn, lettered by Russ Wooton, and Bill Crabtree did the coloring. So the 30th issue of Invincible from Image Comics went on sale on this date, 2006, which was 16 years ago today. And finally, one last piece of Leach history to go through. On this date, 15 years ago today, in 2007, the following animes finished their runs on TV in Tokyo. Shaft's Hidamari Sketch and Studio Hibari's Venus vs. Virus. Those two animes completed their runs in Tokyo on this date in 2007, 15 years ago today. So with that, guys, I thank everybody for being here. I thank you all for the viewings and for the likes and shares. I hope you guys found the information informative. Don't forget this Friday, of course, Batgoat will be with me to do the historical comic retrospect. We're starting on the December 1938 coverage this Friday. And I hope to see everybody back here tomorrow. Bye.